Hi, welcome to the Time Traveling Chef. I'm Rob, where I'm neither chef nor historian, but I do love food and I have a passion for history. It's going to take us to England about 700 years ago, where I'm going to make. This recipe calls for cubed lamb, eggs, lemon, white wine, chicken stock, parsley, rosemary, onions, and spices, which are going to include coriander, cumin, ginger, marjoram, black pepper, and salt. Let's go back to what was the end of the Dark Ages in the 14th century. The Black Plague had recently ended sometime in 1352, and the tastes and culinary practices of medieval Europe were changing. There was a demand for higher quality food, not only from the nobility, but also from the peasant classes. And most notably, there was a major increase in the consumption of meats. Supply and demand was now on the side of the peasant class. The Black Plague had devastated the populations, but the demand for workers remained the same. The demand and subsequent earning of higher wages is a contributing factor in the diversity of the recipes that were cooked. Following the Black Plague, the 14th and 15th century saw changes in farming practices that led to a decrease in pork consumption and an increase in the consumption of lamb or mutton. Mutton would have for certainly been on the top of the list of stew meats, which brings us to our recipe of mutton stew, adapted from that of the Curie of English. Take veal, otherwise mutton, and smite it to gobbets. Seethe it in good broth, cast thereto herbs you good one, and quantity of onions minced, powder fort and saffron, and ale it with Aaron and various, but let it not seethe after. The Curie in English was a collection of culinary manuscripts that included the form of curry. This collection of recipes was compiled in 1390 by the master cooks of King Richard II. So first I'm going to chop the onions up, and I'm kind of deciding what type of chop I want to do. I think I'm going to do a rough chop on them. So the recipe that I'm using actually calls for finely chopped onions, so as if I haven't teared up enough, I'm going to chop these up a little bit more. Right, we also need some chopped up parsley. And some oregano sprigs. Okay, at this point, we're going to start adding the chicken stock to a pot. Again, I'm going with just under 2 cups chicken stock. Start getting the burner on. Add in the lamb. We're going to bring this to a nice simmer. I think we need about 1 cup of white wine. I'm going to add in the onions and the spices, the herbs. I'm making a mess. Let's stir this all up. We're gonna let this simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. All right, so now to prepare for the end, what we're gonna do is whip 2 eggs together with 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay, so it's been about an hour and 20 minutes. It's time to stir this and add in that lemon egg mixture. It's reduced quite a bit. It's looking good, it's smelling good. And the lamb is actually looks to be pretty tender. All right, here goes nothing. And I will not let this boil again. All right, here goes nothing. Actually, it looks really, really good. Let's see. It's actually surprisingly good. I absolutely would make this again. It's actually really good. Yeah, Maggie Black, Medieval Cookbook. Excellent recipe.